Dominik, guess who's back? Mommy's home. Hello, everyone. This is Warhawk Beyond 2040, bringing to you another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. And today I wanted to discuss and share my thoughts with all of you about what took place on the July 8th, 2024 edition of Raw, involving the return of Rhea Ripley and what this means for Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan. So, ever since Rhea Ripley got injured after WrestleMania 40 and Liv Morgan became the women's champion, there's been this strange, weird developments going on between Liv Morgan and Dominik Mysterio. Dominik Mysterio accidentally helped Liv Morgan win the women's title and then accidentally helped her retain it against Becky Lynch on two occasions. And she's been kind of like lusting after him. Dominik Mysterio is like, look, just back off, but at the same time, he hasn't exactly been putting up much of a fight. And the big question that everybody has been asking, including myself, is how does Rhea Ripley feel about this? What's her reaction? What's her take on this whole situation? And even the Judgment Day have been questioning Dominik. I thought you were taking care of this. I thought this was all fixed. And Dominik's like, I've got this. I'm working on it. I'm going to fix this. Not a problem. I've spoken to Mummy. It's all taken care of. And Damien Priest, on the other hand, says, well, that's funny because I spoke to Rhea and she's quite the opposite. She's pissed. What are you going to do about it? So, Liv Morgan's involvement with Dominik Mysterio, as well as the Judgment Day, has really started to cause tension between various members, mainly between Damien Priest and Finn Balor. And even Dominik Mysterio and Damien Priest, even they've started to throw a few words at one another. Like, for example, Dominik said, you're starting to sound like my dad now. And Damien Priest is like, yeah, I can see where your dad's coming from. I can understand, how he feels now. So you can clearly see that Liv Morgan's involvement with the Judgment Day is really starting to cause tension within the faction because for the most part, the Judgment Day have always remained on the same page. They are a very close knit family. Sure, they may butt heads and not see eye to eye, but when push comes to shove, they always come through for one another. But lately, I'm starting to see things are not well in the Judgment Day household. And we always knew that Rhea Ripley was going to be coming back. It was just a matter of when. I did not expect her to come out straight after Money in the Bank. I thought maybe before SummerSlam, perhaps, maybe give it a few more weeks. But, you know, Dominik Mysterio finally got the win over his dad, Rey Mysterio, thanks to Liv Morgan. And we even saw earlier in the show, Damien Priest was on the phone to someone saying, where you're at. And it was quite curious to know who was that on the phone. We found out who was on the other side. It was none other than Rhea Ripley, who looked incredible. She always looks incredible anyway, but she looked like She-Hulk. She just came out, no pandering to the crowd, no high fives, nothing. She was all business. She just marched to the ring. She looked like someone, how do I describe it? Mum's back from vacation early after getting a call from, dad, the boy's dad, so to speak. So, look, you need to come home. He's playing up. Okay, I'm on my way now. I'm getting the first plane back home. And she just marched out to a massive pop. And, all due respect to everybody on the women's division, I can't think of anybody right now who is more over than Rhea Ripley. She came out looking like a badass, looking phenomenal, you name it, top to bottom, she looked like a monster. And I thought to myself, oh my God, someone's going to get it. Because prior to Rhea Ripley coming out, it looked like Dominik was finally going to give in to temptation. And then we hear the music, Rhea Ripley comes out, and oh my God, Liv Morgan looked like she just saw her life flash before her very eyes, and she just ran out of the ring out of the arena faster than anybody I have ever seen. And Dominik just stood there, you know, with egg on his face. Oh, crap. So the big question now is, what does this mean for Dominik Mysterio and Liv Morgan? Well, obviously, Rhea Ripley will want answers. That goes without saying. There is no question she is going to absolutely murder Liv Morgan the first chance she gets. But Dominik, on the other hand, he's got some explaining to do. Where's his head at? Why has he been doing this? I'm pretty sure we're going to get our answers very soon, but it looks like they're going to position Rhea Ripley as a face. I mean, she hasn't left the Judgment Day. As we're talking, she's still a part of the Judgment Day. But I think what's going to happen is, and I think this is where, you know, the implosion or the fallout is going to occur. Damian Priest will reveal that he was the one who made the phone call to Rhea and said, look, this was the only way to get you to see sense. I had to call Rhea. I had to tell her everything. I had to get her to come back early because if you're not going to fix it, then Rhea will. So obviously, throughout this entire time, this is obviously going to lead up to a match at SummerSlam. And I think what's going to happen is Rhea will officially turn face, and she's obviously going to tell to Dominik, look, I'm facing Liv Morgan at SummerSlam. You've got to make a choice, me or her. And obviously, they'll have the match, and halfway into the match, Dominik will turn on Rhea Ripley, and obviously, this will lead to her and Damien becoming big baby faces, and the Judgment Day will go into this massive civil war. I think Liv Morgan will join the Judgment Day, and Dominik obviously will be paired up with her. They'll be the biggest heels in the company. Finn Balor will be the new leader. Then we'll see a great big civil war with Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley going up against Finn Balor, Dominik Mysterio, Liv Morgan, and JD McDonough. So I think that's how this is all going to play out. But Dominik will look like he's sorry. He'll try and kiss up to Rhea and apologise over and over. And I think ultimately this will lead to a heartbreaking betrayal at SummerSlam. He'll help Liv Morgan defeat Rhea Ripley and then let the nuclear heat rain, let the radioactive heat pour down, because I can tell you now the hatred from the fans is going to be nothing like you've ever seen before. But this was a great moment. This was a great way to close out Raw with the return of Rhea Ripley, as I said earlier, looking in phenomenal shape. She just looked like she hasn't left. She looked better than ever. And it's obvious she's probably the most over female wrestler in WWE right now, in my eyes, as far as I'm concerned. I can't think of anyone else who's more popular than Rhea Ripley as of this time. But that's how I think it's going to play out. I think they're going to slowly build up Dominik turning on Rhea, and you know the rest. So we'll just have to wait and see. But this was great. I knew this was going to happen. I just didn't think we were going to get this very early. I thought maybe they might hang this out for a couple of more weeks and then she'll come out. But to come out straight after Money in the Bank was great. Great storytelling. The payoff, how this is going to end up, who knows? But right now, I'm invested, as I have been from the start, and I'm looking forward to seeing where this is going. So that's going to be it from me. I am going to wrap this up now. What did you think about Rhea Ripley's return? Were you shocked? Were you expecting it to come out this early? Did you think maybe she might have come out a bit later, maybe a couple of weeks down the road? What do you think this means for the Judgment Day? Do you think Dominik Mysterio will try to apologise to Rhea Ripley? Do you think he'll finally explain his actions? What about Liv Morgan? Do you think this is going to lead up to a match at SummerSlam? What about the Judgment Day? Will she stay with the Judgment Day, or perhaps she will leave? Do you think this is all part of a plan? Maybe Dominik will finally turn on Rhea Ripley at SummerSlam and help Liv Morgan. You know what to do, guys. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, leave your thoughts and comments down below, and I will see all of you next time for another edition of the Wrestling Discussion Series. So until then, take care, everybody, and stay safe. And once again, as always, much appreciated. Thanks for listening. And Rhea Ripley, great to have you back.